the most beneficial and the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Awais and I am from Bahria University. My topic of speech is conquest of Makkah and the Battle of Hunain. Let's talk about the conquest of Makkah. About the parts of the Muslim Quraysh wars. Date December 629 or January 630. Location Makkah. Result Muslim victory. End of Muslims Quraysh wars. Belligerents Muslim and Quraysh. Commanders and leaders Muhammad Ali ibn Abi Talib, Khalid ibn al-Walid, Abu Bakr ibn Abi Quhafa, Umar ibn al-Khattab, Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah, Zubair ibn al-Awwam. And the opponent leaders are Abu Sufyan ibn Harb, Ikrimah ibn Abi Jah, Sahal ibn Amr, Safwan ibn Umayyah. The strength of Muslims in war is 10,000 and the opponent side Quraysh is approximate 2,000 to 4,000. Casualty and losses 2 on Muslim side, 13 on Quraysh side. Let's talk about the dates. Ancient sources varies as to the dates of these events. The date Muhammad set out for Makkah is variously given as 2, 6 or 10 Ramadan 8 AH. The date of Muhammad entered Makkah is variously given as 10, 17 or 18, 19 or 20 Ramadan 8 AH. The conversion of these dates to the Julian calendar depends on what assumptions are made about the calendar in use in Makkah at that time. For example, 18 Ramadan 8 AH may be converted to 11 December 629 AD, 10 or 11 January 630 or 6 June 630 AD. Now, let's talk about the background of the conquest of Makkah. In 60, in 628, the Makkan tribe of Quraysh and the Muslim community in Medina signed a 10-year truce called the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. In 630, the truce was broken when the Banu Bakr and Ali of the Quraysh attacked the Banu Khuza, who had recently become allies of the Muslims. According to the terms of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, the Arab tribes were given the option of joining either of the sides, the Muslims or Quraysh. Should any of these tribes face aggression, the party to which it was allied would have the right to retaliate. As a consequence, Banu Bakr joined Quraysh and Khuza joined the Muslims. They thus lived in peace of some time, but ulterior motives stretching back to the pre-Islamic period ignited by unabated fire of revenge triggered fresh hostilities. Banu Bakr, without concern for the provisions of the treaty attacked Banu Khuza in the place called Al-Water in Shaban in 8 AH. Quraysh helped Banu Bakr with men and arms, taking advantage of the dark night pressed by their enemies. The tribesmen of the Khuza sought the holy sanctuary, but here too their lives were not spared, and contrary to all accepted traditions, Nawafil, the chief of Banu Bakr, chased them in the sanctified area where no blood should be shed, and massacred his adversaries. Khuza at once sent a delegation to Medina to inform Muhammad of the breach of truce and to seek help from the Muslims of Medina being their allies. After the incident, Quraysh sent a delegation to Muhammad petitioning to maintaining the treaty with the Muslims and offering material compensation. The Muslim forces had gathered in strength to settle account with Quraysh and for the final attack and the opening of Makkah triggered the mass conversion of the Arabs to Islam in many parts of the country. But there were some tribes living in the east and southeast of Makkah which did not wish to abjure idolatry. They were alarmed at the rapid progress of Islam and they thought that if it continued to spread at the same speed, they would soon be surrounded by the Muslims and would become isolated from their pagan tribes. Their leaders figured that it would be unwise on their part to let the Muslims consolidate their recent gains and become too strong. They therefore decided to act immediately by attacking the Muslims in Makkah and destroying them. The leading tribes among them were the Thaqif, Hawazin, Banu Sa'd and Banu Jasam, all fierce warriors jealous of their independence and proud of their warlike traditions. They had noted that Makkah and surrendered to Muhammad without striking a blow, but they attributed the failure of Quraysh to resist him to their effeminacy. As for themselves, they were confident that they were more than a match on the battlefield for the warriors of Islam or any other warriors. 630, the Prophet received intelligence that Taqif and Hawazin had left their home base and were moving towards Makkah. When these reports were confirmed, he too ordered a general mobilization in the newly conquered city. The Prophet did not want Makkah to become a battleground. He therefore hastily left Makkah on January 26, 630 at the head of 12,000 warriors to meet the enemy. Out of this force, 10,000 men were from Medina and the other 2,000 were recruits from the newly converted Makkans. This new army was the largest force ever assembled in Arabia to that date, as its various formations marched out of the city gate in full panoply of war. Abu Bakr, who was watching, was much impressed and exclaimed, "We can't be defeated this time because of lack of numbers." But very soon he was proven wrong. Muslims were defeated at the beginning, even though they were thrice as numerous as the enemy. Quran itself called attention of the Muslims rather pointedly that numbers alone were no guarantee that they would be victorious. Talk about the Battle of Hunain, Ghazwa Hunain, that occurs in Shawwal 8th year. Hunain. The Battle of Hunain was fought by the Islamic Prophet Muhammad and his followers against the Bedouin tribe of Hawazin and its subsection, the Taqif, in 630 CE. In the Hunain Valley, on the route from Makkah to at Taif. The battle ultimately ended in a decisive victory of the Muslims, who captured enormous spoils. It is mentioned in Surah Toba of the Quran and is one of the few battles mentioned by the name in the Quran. There are few verses in Quran about the Ghazwa Hunain. The glorious Quran says, Allah has already given you victory in many regions, and even on the day of Hunain, when your great number pleased you, but it did not avail you at all, and the earth was confining for you with its vastness. Then you turned back, fleeing. In another verse, then Allah sent down His tranquility upon His messenger and upon the believers, and sent down soldiers, angels, whom you did not see, and punished those who disbelieved, and that is the recompense of the disbelievers. Then Allah will accept repentance after that for whom He wills, and Allah is forgiving and merciful. Surah Toba 25 to 27 verse. Let's talk about some of the information about Battle of Hunain. Date 6:38 AH. Location Hunain near Al Taif in southwestern Arabia. Result Muslim victory. Belligerents Muslim Quraysh, Hawazin, Tahakif, Qais, Nasr, Josham, Saad bin Bakr, Bani Hilal, Bani Amr bin Amir, Bani Auf bin Amir. Commanders and leaders. On Muslim side, Muhammad Ali ibn Abi Talib, Al-Abbas ibn Abd al-Muttalib, Zubair ibn al-Awwam. And the opponent side, Malik ibn Auf, Duryad bin al-Soma, Abu al-Awar. Strength on Muslim side 12,000 and other side 20,000. Casualties and losses: 4 killed on Muslim side and on opponent side 70 killed, 6,000 captures as booty, 24,000 camels. Talk about the background of Battle of Hunain. The Hawazins had been long-standing enemies of Meccans. They were located northeast of the Makkah and their territory sat beside the trade route to Al-Hira in Iraq. The Hawazins were allied with the Thaqifs, a Hawazin subtribe which had settled in Taif, a town southeast of Makkah, whose trade routes ran through Hawazin territory. The alliance had engaged in several wars, probably concerning trade routes between Taif and Makkah. Gives the history that they saw Muhammad as another powerful Qurayshi leader who had come to lead his people. They thought among themselves that a war with Muslims was imminent and that the once persecuted minority of Muslims had gained the upper hand against their non-Muslim Arab enemies, and they may have wanted to take advantage of the likely chaos in Makkah after the Muslims takeover. Some tribes favored fighting him and the Muslims. Ahead of these were the tribes of Hawazin and Thaqif. According to the Muslim scholar Saifur Rahman Mubarakpuri, they thought that they were too might to admit or surrender to such a victory. So they met Malik bin Auf an Nasri and made up their minds to proceed fighting against the Muslims. Malik persuaded other tribes to fight and gathered them before him. The confederation of tribes consisting of Nasr, Josham, Saad bin Bakr, Bani Hilal, Bani Amr bin Amir, Bani Auf bin Amir gathered at Otas along with the Taqif and Hawazin. On that day, Muhammad had 12,000 armed soldiers under the standard. Out of them, 10,000 were those who had accompanied him from Medina and had taken part in the conquest of Makkah, and the other 2,000 were the amongst Quraysh who had embraced Islam recently. The command of this group rested with Abu Sufyan. In those days, such as army was hardly found anywhere, and the numerical strength of theirs became the cause of the initial defeat. It was because, contrary to the past, they prided themselves on the large number of their soldiers and ignored the military tactics and principles of war. When Muslim soldiers, including the new Makkan converted who saw large number of men, they said, "We shall not at all be defeated because our soldiers far outnumber those of the enemy." The Muslims were basically surrounded by three tribes: Quraysh, Jewish tribe, and the Arabs Hawazin Taqif. After enemies of Islam failed to wipe out Islam in Badr, Uhud, and the trench of battles, the Prophet plans was to attack the enemy to prevent further attacks and protect the Muslim Ummah. Let's talk about the course of the battle. On Wednesday night, the 10th of Shawwal, the Muslim army arrived at Hunain. Malik bin Auf, who had previously entered the valley by night, gave order to his army of 4,000 men to hide inside the valley and lurk for the Muslims on road, entrances and narrow hiding places. His orders to his men were to hurl stones at Muslims whenever they caught sight of them and then to make one man attack against them. When Muslims started camping, arrows began showering intensely at them. Their enemies' battalion started a furious attack against the Muslim, who had to retreat in disordered and utter confusions. It is reported that only a few soldiers stayed behind the fort, including Ali bin Abu Talib, the standard bearer, Abbas bin Abdullah, Fadl ibn Abbas, Usama, and Abu Sufyan bin al Haris. Ibn Kathir writes that according to Ibn Ishaq, Jabir ibn Abdullah, who witnessed the battle, the Muslim army were panicked by a surprise attack from the enemy and many men fled the battlefield. However, a group of Muhajirin stood firmly and defended the Prophet on the battlefield. These men were Abu Bakr, Umar, Ali, Abbas ibn Abd al-Muttalib, Abu Sufyan ibn al-Haris, Fadl ibn Abbas, Rabi ibn al-Haris, Usama ibn Zaid, and Ayman ibn Ubaidah. Ayman ibn Ubaid was killed that day whilst defending the Prophet Muhammad. Come on, people. I am the messenger of Allah. I am Muhammad, the son of Abdullah. Then Muhammad said, "O Allah, send down your help." Later, Muslims returned to the battlefield. Muhammad, then picking up a handful of earth, hurled it at their faces while saying, "May your faces be shameful." Their eyes were thick with dust and the enemy began to retreat the utter confusion. According to Muslim scholar Saifur Rahman Mubarakpuri, after the enemy was defeated, about 70 men of Taqif alone were killed and the Muslims captured all their ridings, camels, weapons and cattle. After that, the Quran verses 9 to 25 was also revealed in this event according to Muslim scholars. Some of the enemies fled and Muhammad chased after them. Similar battalions chased after other enemies. Rabi bin Rafi caught up with Duraid bin As-Sima, who was an old man, and killed him. Duraid was an important asset of pagan forces due to his great numbers of experiences in battle and knowledge of terrain and war tactics. This is mentioned by the Muslim jurist Tabari as follows: The messenger of God cavalry followed those who went to Nakla but not those who took to the narrow passes. Rabia, Rafia, Ohban, Talaba, Rabia, Yarub, who was called Ibn Lada after his mother, overtook Duryad al-Sima and seized him camel by its halter, thinking that he was a woman because he was in Hoda. But lo, it was a man. He made the camel knee down beside him, and the man was very old. He was Duryad. Al-Sima, the young man, did not know him. Duryad asked him what he wanted to do with him. The young man replied that they wanted to kill him. Duryad asked him who he was, and he replied that he was Rabia Rufia al-Sulami. He then struck him with his sword, but to no effect. Thereupon Duryad said, "What a poor weapon your mother has armed you with. Take this sword of mine that is at the rear of the saddle in the hoda, and strike me with it above the spine but below the brain, for I used to slay men in that way. Then, when you go to your mother, tell her you killed Riyad al-Sima. By God, how many times I protected your woman the last years of the Prophet." As you see that this is Makkah and this is the Battle of Hunain, and this is Jorana and this is the Red Sea. That is the location of the Makkah and Hunain. These are the few verses that is that are from Quran Surah Toba 9 to 25, 25 to 26 verse. 25 verse, assuredly Allah did help you in many battlefields and on the day of Hunain. Behold, your great numbers allotted you, but they availed you not the land. For all that it is wide, did constrain you, and you turned your backs in retreat. But Allah did pour his calm on the messenger and on the believers and sent down forces which you saw not. He punished the unbelievers, thus does he punish those without faith. Finally, talk about the result of the Battle of Hunain. The Battle of Hunain was one of the main battles of the Prophet. As Hawazin was a strong tribe, it was always a source of the threat to the Prophet. ﷺ. The outcome of the battle was Taqif and Hawazin tribe had surrendered. That was a blow of the tribe of Hawazin pride. Thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.